Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry I'm going to speak in English, and I'll try not to talk too fast, but I'm from New York, and we tend to talk fast in New York. So I am going first to try and give you a big picture view of what is different about now. And rather than show you a lot of slides, I'm going to ask you to help make a slide. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, take it out. Or you can try and do this on your laptop, but it's actually easier just to do it with a pen and paper. And the benefit of doing this is when we're done, you will have my slide. Okay? So here's what's different about now. Draw a box on your paper. Okay? Make it a big box. And then divide it into 4. One line going down the middle, one line going across. So now you have 4 boxes. You have a grid. Okay? Now, what we're going to do with this is look at the 4 different ways that human beings organize themselves to get things done in the world. And we're going to get to how the internet is changing this. But first we have to break our box out and see what we've always traditionally had. So the first is on the left side of the box, I want you to write 2 words. In the top half, just write the word centralized, and below that write decentralized. Okay? We've always had 2 different ways of organizing ourselves, either in institutions that are centralized, that are hierarchical, that have leaders, and then people who follow the decisions of those leaders. And the other way we've always had of doing things is decentralized. It's individuals acting on their own, or individuals acting together with each other voluntarily, deciding to do things on their own as a group. Okay, so on the left-hand side of this, you have centralized and decentralized. Now, across the top, there are 2 different kinds of values, or systems of values, that we organize ourselves around. One is money. So put a big $ across on the left-hand vertical of your grid. Money as a value for organizing our behavior has been with us for a very, very long time. And we make many decisions based on how much something's going to cost us or what the return on investment will be. But money is not the only value how we organize ourselves. There's also values that have nothing to do with money. Love, art, pleasure, compassion. All these non-monetary values, let's put a big heart on the other side of the chart, okay? On the right-hand vertical. Now you have 4 boxes and you have 4 terms, and each one of these boxes corresponds now to a type of organization that we're all familiar with. So for example, in the top left-hand corner, the type of organization where we are organizing ourselves around the value of money, but it's centralized, that's called business. That's the corporation. Okay? People inside of corporations are valued based on their return on investment, how much it costs to pay them, what sort of profit they help generate for the firm. Below that, the place where we make decisions based on the value of money, but it's decentralized, well, we all know that's the marketplace. That's supply and demand. That's individuals either as consumers or sometimes individuals band together as unions. And that's businesses sometimes acting by themselves or acting in concert with each other as well. But the marketplace is the decentralized form of society where we make decisions based on price. and on money values. Now let's go to the right-hand side of this chart. The top right-hand corner, that's the place where centralized organizations come together to do things for values that are not about money. This is the world of government. This is also the world of things like the church and other kinds of nonprofit organizations. They're run in a centralized, hierarchical way, but they make decisions that are about other values, not just the value of money. Maybe it's the value of compassion, and that's why we take care of the sick and the elderly who can't take care of themselves, but we do it through these big centralized organizations. Now we get to the most interesting box for us today. We've always had this fourth sector. We've always had this place where individuals do things with each other informally for reasons that don't have to do with money. This is where we all have fun. This is where we get together with our families. This is where we do things locally in our community because it's just good to do, right? Classically, this is the place where farmers would get together to help each other put up a barn. They didn't charge each other money, they just helped each other because it was good for the community. So this is where barn raisers happen. This is where church suppers happen, where you get together with your community and maybe you're just raising money for your church, or you're sharing a meal with somebody. It isn't necessarily even about something like raising money. The fourth sector, this sector of informal mutual aid, informal community, this is what's new. Because we've always had this sector, it's always been small, but now, thanks to the internet, it's exploding. Okay, if you would put up my slide. So, if you've been taking notes, you should have something that looks like this. Okay? We have a value system across the top, and we have modes of organization down along the left. And we have 4 different kinds of organization, and the one that is so exciting and important today is what's starting to take off in the bottom right-hand corner because of the internet. In fact, we should take a moment and recognize that the internet itself is an expression of an informal community. The internet is not a product of government, and it's not a product of corporations or the marketplace. I mean, it was helped by government research, that's true, and corporations helped spread it, that's true. But the internet at its heart is just a series of agreements on how to connect computers to each other. It's very decentralized, nobody owns it, anybody can use it, and anybody can improve it. It's a new kind of organization. Let me give you another example of the kinds of organizations that we are now seeing explode in size, thanks to the growth of connectivity and the internet itself. Just look at Wikipedia. What is Wikipedia? Wikipedia is a barn raiser at the scale of the world. The English language Wikipedia by itself has something like 2 million contributors. It has a paid staff of 30 people. The Encyclopedia Britannica, which Wikipedia has replaced, had a staff of hundreds of people. It cost $200 million to produce a new edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, and a new one would only come out once every decade or so. Wikipedia updates every minute. It shouldn't work. None of the people who contribute, the editors, are paid, except for this very, very tiny administrative group at the core. It's all volunteer. And the fact that it exists and the fact that it is now worldwide really should make us all stop and think, wow, we are living in an age of fundamental change. Now, I want to leave you with one thought. And here I'm borrowing from work from Clay Shirky, who really came up with this idea first. The amount of time that people put into editing Wikipedia, that is volunteer time to improve this amazing resource of human knowledge that everyone is sharing freely. He approximated in the English language version of the Wikipedia that every year we spend about 200 million hours, people hours, to continue to add edits just to the English Wikipedia. 200 million person hours. That sounds like a lot, but actually it isn't, because the average in the United States alone, that's how many TV commercials we watch in a weekend. When you add up all the amount of time that Americans alone spend watching television, and you take just 1% of all that time, if we applied just 1% of the time we spend wasting watching television to building things like Wikipedia, Clay Shirky estimates we could get 200 more Wikipedia-sized projects a year. Now, he calls this number the cognitive surplus. It's the free time that we now have to put to things that have nothing to do with making money. We have free time. We've been wasting most of it on things like watching TV. But now, thanks to the internet, thanks to open connectivity that enables vastly easier sharing and collaboration, we can produce things like Wikipedia, and we are just beginning to scratch the surface. So the question, and I think the reason to be excited about the moment we live in, the question is, how much bigger can we make that fourth box, right? We all know that government needs to be reinvented. We all know that the market doesn't solve every problem. Sometimes it makes them worse. And we know that corporations and businesses often get too motivated by greed. And they also try and game the market and game government to bend the rules to favor them instead of really producing something better that benefits everybody. But now we have a fourth sector that is attacking the other three, that's beginning to produce social goods at the scale of Wikipedia. And so the question is, how much bigger can we make that? That's what I want to leave you with. Thank you.